Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I have a little bit different of a video for you guys today. I'm doing makeup on my little sister slash client. So if you're interested in seeing how I got this look on my little sister, then please keep watching and don't forget to subscribe. Of course. And now, so I'm just going to jump on in. I'm using the NYX Tame and Frame kind of brow pomade is basically what this is. I always start off with brows whether I'm doing my makeup or someone else's. I think it's a really nice way to frame the face and kind of be able to figure out where you want eyeshadows to go and where you want your contour and highlight and all that good stuff. So I am filling in her brow. I'm not doing too much shaping because she already has pretty good brows. And then I'm using the NYX HD concealer, which has been a staple for myself as well as for me to use on others. I just really like the consistency and the coverage of this concealer. So yeah, I'm shaping her brow that way. And then I'm also using that as an eye primer. I personally like to use concealer as eye primer. That's just me. And then I'm going ahead and setting that concealer with a translucent powder just to make the eyeshadow blending a little easier. And then I'm just setting her brows. So today I'm using the Jaclyn Hill palette because this has been literally like the only palette I've used since I've gotten it. I just went into those two warm tone browns to create a transition shade for her. And then I'm going into Pukey. I believe that's the shade with a little bit more of a defined brush. And I'm working that into her crease just to give her a little bit more definition. You can see the difference in that eye versus the eye that's on the left. And now I'm going into this orangey brown and I'm kind of packing that onto the outer lid, outer crease, outer V, whatever you want to call it. I'm blending it kind of out, up and out to create almost a cat eye effect, and I'm also working that into her crease as well. And then once I feel that that's blended, I'm going to go back into the first two brown shades just to make sure everything is actually blended, because sometimes your eyes can play you, so don't ever be afraid to go back into colors and reapply. So now I'm going into this kind of cranberry shade. I don't know if it's really cranberry, but a little bit darker than that orangey brown, the one white, wow, right beneath it. I'm pretty much doing the same thing. I'm packing it onto her outer corner and I'm blending it up and out to get that nice cat eye effect, and then I'm going back into those nice warm brown transition shades and reapplying those. And then to add a little bit more yellow and warm tone to the look, I'm picking up that shade, the yellowy shade in the palette obviously, and just running that on the very top of the eyeshadow. And then to create a little bit more dimension for this dramatic look, I'm picking up a nice warm brown and very light-handedly packing that onto the outer corner and working that into her crease to create a lot more depth for the cut crease that I'm about to create. And then I just went back into that cranberry shade to make sure everything's blended. So to cut the crease, I'm using the Tarte Tape Shape Concealer because it is full coverage and it dries pretty quick. So I'm doing a halfway cut crease just because that is what we decided on, and then my hand was in the way pretty much the whole time. So just cut the crease halfway with a very small, precise brush, and then I went back into that dark brown real quick with a really small brush and just kind of lined on the top of that concealer to create a little bit more dimension and depth. And then I'm just going in with a shimmer shade to apply that onto her lid, and then I wanted a little bit more dimension and a little bit more of a nice fade into that dark brown, so I picked up the really pretty golden shade, and then I'm just going back into that dark brown to blend the golden shade and the dark brown together and to further blend out her crease. And so now I'm moving on to to foundation. I did not prime her face just because she doesn't feel primer works for her, and she also likes a lot of a lighter face makeup application. So what I'm actually doing is just mixing two foundations together so I can skip like a cream highlight and a cream contour. I kept the lighter foundation on the innermost parts of her face where you would normally conceal or highlights, and then I went in with a little bit more yellow toned, darker toned foundation on the perimeter of her face, and then you just want to make sure you blend those two together. And yeah, so now I'm going to go ahead and set with the Laura Mercier Translucent Setting Powder, and I'm pretty much treating this just like if I were to highlight her face. So I'm putting that on her forehead, under her eye, her nose, her chin, all the other places, and I did not set the rest of her face. And now I'm just going in with the Tarte Hotel Heiress Bronzer to bronze her up because she's looking a little pale here. She's a little bit more pale than me. Yeah, so I'm just bronzing up her cheeks, her temples, jawline. I'm going into contour really lightly with the Bahama Mama bronzer because it's a lot more gray in tone. And then I'm also running that along her jawline, and I'm also going to be doing her nose too. I'm actually using an eyeshadow brush to give her nose a really, really light contour. And don't be afraid to almost blend that contour into the eyeshadow. It's really okay. Now I'm going in with another bronzer. I'm doing the bronzer out of the Too Faced Sweet Peach collection. I'm actually using that whole trio to do bronzer, highlighter, and blush. The highlighter, I kept it a little bit lighter than my highlight because you guys know I like to highlight. But yeah, so I used that whole trio, so that's what's on her face right now. And then I'm going in and setting her face with this Hard Candy setting spray. And I actually really like this stuff. I've been using it a lot recently. And then I'm going over her skin with a sponge just to absorb any product that's not being used and blend the highlight in. And then I'm just applying some fake lashes. And then we're going to go in with mascara once that lash glue dries. She doesn't like any makeup on her lower lash line, so we left that alone. The last thing to do is lips, and I'm using, I believe, Brink from ColourPop. I might be wrong, but I will have it listed down below. So this is the finished look. This is makeup on my little sister. I hope you picked up some tips and tricks on doing makeup on clients. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoy this. Please don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye, guys!